Okay, so now we come to the second part of this Destiny Success Incorporated recording, and it's your host, Reverend Walter Mombazi, International TN's trainer and lecturer. Now, we are going into the Kit Handover itself, part 2 of this, and this is the most effective way to get your business started in TNs here in Africa. And by the way, this is all part of the millionairesinmotion.net training, which comes as part of the 90-day challenge. And I must quickly hasten to say that if you've not watched part 1 yet, please go back and watch part 1, and then when you've gotten that together, then come back and watch part 2. These are all part of the first day training, so they're quite intense. There's a lot of content, but this is very, very important for you, so you must not ignore this. Now, let's move on. So we're on to the Kit Handover. This is a process that takes between 30 to 90 minutes long, and that length of time has a lot to do with what happens as you go about doing the Kit Handover. So it's not something that you do in a rush, but rather you do with understanding. I always tell people that the best way to get this all working is to always show your first set of downlines exactly how it's done. And this video will endeavor to do that for you. And you can use this as a way to refer your other distributors this way so that they can learn as well. Now, the overview of this Kit Handover is that it is done within 48 hours of registration. Please do not leave it beyond that, because the excitement and reason for which people join begins to wane away, and you will lose people as you go. And where is it done? Well, preferably after the OPP. Although really, reasonably speaking, many minds are very full after that, so you need to do it within a day or two, and it could be at the office, home, or wherever it's convenient. And these days now, we can do this online and using the system methods that are going to be shown in the next couple of slides that are coming along. Now, remember, the Kit Handover has 4 key components or 4 points that you'll be looking at, and these are to explain the kit and the price list, to get the first order of a downline, to schedule the new distributor orientation, and to review the tools. And guys, I want to stress number 2, the actual purpose of the Kit Handover is to get the first order. So never forget that. That's the whole bottom line purpose, is to get the first order, to know what they're going to be doing. And we're going to be walking you through all this right now in this training so that you get a pretty good idea of how all that works. So now let's move on to the first part, which is to explain the kit and the price list. And that there is the kit that's given, especially here in Africa. It has a number of components in it. There's a company profile, there's a product guide, there's a marketing plan, there's an organizer, and there's a pouch that contains the receipts, the registration forms, and the price list. Now let's go into looking at all these. So now on the company profile, you've got the actual kit itself there, and it has a number of things: letter of congratulations, origin of TNs, the contribution from China to the world, where TNs started from, the current blueprint for where the now current existing TNs health industrial park exists now, and where people go for holidays. We also have the leading edge technology training, education as a pivotal point to growth, our certification, and a lot more. Please make sure that you read through the company profile. Then we have the product guide, which basically gives you an idea of the various products that TNs has. And I must hasten to say that the product guide is not comprehensive, so there are other products that you will not see in the product guide. But my advice to you is that you must get yourself connected to the shop, get yourself connected to the TN's office, and get to know what other material is available for you to get more information. So there you have it: halal certification. We also have kosher certificate and FDA certification, ISO quality system certifications. We also have a history in this part, which gives you an idea of where the whole key to health and the whole Chinese approach to health and the history of Chinese medicine comes from. We also have the 4 ways to well-being, and of course from there now comes all the different products and how they work, and in a pretty detailed layout. We also have the marketing plan, and here is where you have the business handbook. And what I want you to do is go over to this chart, which is very, very important. On this chart, I want to show you a couple of things. There you have, this chart is where you start when you join, you pay $20, and what we want you to do really is come over here and become a 3-star, and you do that by spending $200 in activation. That's where really business starts in TN. If you're not there yet, I can assure you that you're not really anywhere. And from there now, you move to 4-star by bringing in key individuals that will activate and go to 3-star, and it grows on and on as according to the presentation. Over here we have a table that gives pretty detailed information about all the various benefits that TNS offers, and this is a pretty comprehensive setup, so you can get more information about that by following the following pages where they tell you exactly how you go from 1-star to 2-star to 3-star to 8-star to Lion status and to Diamond status, and finally to Director and top Laurel or Chief Director level. Now the next section in the kit is the organizer, and here we have the organizer itself, which works very well in helping you to get a pretty good idea of exactly how best you can go about building the network, how best you can go about creating a network under you and getting that to work very well. Now the organizer is designed in such a way that it just basically gives you a chance to get your work a little bit organized, but we do teach a lot more of that when you get into the further part of the training, when we look at invitation and how to work best as an organized person. Now apart from that, we also have the pouch, and in the pouch you find depending, places vary, but generally you have a number of things. You have the receipt book, that's the one there, and then you've got the TN's joining form, and you have the act price list. Now the receipt book is not a big deal, because my experience has been that most people that buy things directly from vendors never ever ask for receipts, so no big deal. But besides that, you can also go ahead and issue some receipts and some what would you call them now, quotations to various businesses depending on who you're dealing with, but really it's nothing to stress over. And then we go over to the joining form. There's a sample joining form of somebody that's joined, and that gives you an idea of what it looks like when you have somebody fill up a registration form. And then we also have the price list. Now let me get into the price list a little bit. We have the first part, which is basically the numbering of the products, of course. Then the codes that are given by the TNS company, and then the product names and how they occur in the book. The units, some come as boxes, some come as bottles. Then we have PV. Now PV stands for point value, which is basically what you gain every time you buy something from TNS, and these points accumulate. Now whenever you see PV, think growth, okay? Because that's what gets you to move from 1-star to 3-star to 5-star and so on and so forth. So PVs matter a lot, and that's the reason why everybody would rather buy from an official stockist or somebody who's a distributor, because they know they get credited for these PVs, which have a direct bearing on how high you go in TNS, which of course translates into how much money you get paid by the company. The more PVs you accumulate, obviously the more percentages you get back and bonuses and the like. Then we have BV. BV stands for business volume, and this is what they actually use to calculate your bonus. So whenever you see BV, please think money, because that's how they actually pay you to get you paid a bonus. So PVs and BVs do vary, and if you look at a particular chart, you will notice over down here where the soaps are that there is a disparity of PVs and the BVs, and that's the reason some of the products have different BVs or less BVs. So whenever you're buying, always be alert to that fact. We have the monthly setup, and that means basically how many products you can, recommend for a particular person in a given month. Our products are herbal, and they best work when they're as a combustible. If you look at the calcium here, a typical calcium box has 10 sachets in it, and if you're doing a sachet a day, that means you're looking at about roughly 10 sachets in 10 days. So if you're one of us looking to get somebody to feel well, you need to give them 3 boxes. That's our basic. So this gives you a rough idea of how much you need to recommend for individuals. Now we have booklets, and we have a page on our online orientation where you can go and download a guide which actually gives you an idea of exactly how much you recommend and what combinations for what conditions and what diseases. Very, very good resource. You will find it in one of our orientation pages on the tianchi-africa.weebly.com. In fact, I am going to flash it right here, right now, so that you're able to see it, and you can go there and download yourself a copy of this particular booklet that will help you have an idea of what to recommend for what conditions and diseases. Also, inquire from your upline to get more information. Now, this is the member price. That's what members pay whenever you're buying. This is the markup that you as officially recommended by the company, and that's the retail price that you charge non-members, and that's how it works. Now, We're going to look at two examples to help you get an idea. Now, let's suppose you spend $100 on products in a given month like Antelope Tea, which has got equal BVs and PVs. That would actually mean they would be the same. So when it comes to the company calculating a bonus, if you're a 3-star already, they will pay you 20% of the 100 BV, which is $20. They'll subtract a $2 computer fee for every time you generate a bonus. There's a $2 computer fee that's charged. So the actual bonus comes to $18. Now, interestingly, if you take, for example, soap or toothpaste or sanitary towels or a number of other products like that, you will find that if you spend $100 on these, though you are going to have the same PVs, you're going to have less BVs. So that means you're looking at 50 BVs, and so as a 3-star, 20% of that comes to $10. And if you remove the $2 computer fee, that leaves you with a bonus of $8. So look at the difference in $18 and $8. So it does matter what you buy, although a lot of people don't mind, because some of these products can be sold for much higher than the official recommended retail price. That has a lot to do with where you're going to sell it and what you're trying to do in the sales. So let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to be building up and continuing where we left off, and we're going to be looking at the next level of our business, and that next level is to go to the next stage on the next paper. So remember, we just looked at number 1, which is explain kit and price list, and when we come back, we're going to look at part 2, which is get first order. Right on. So now we move on to getting your first order. Now, how do you get this first order? There's a number of things we have to look into, which are very, very cardinal. The first one you need to realize is that there are two types of distributors in our business. The first type are what we call the consumers, and these basically consume the products. And then the second group are what we call the operators. Now, for the sake of getting a bit of an understanding, just know this. 80% of your sales comes from your operators. 20% of your sales come from your consumers. 80% of your network consists of consumers, and 20% of your network consists of operators. So just remember that bit. It's the 80-20 rule. Now let's continue. Now the MLM quadrant will help you understand this. The first, there are basically 4 types of distributors in our business. They are users, and these guys basically just use the product. They love our products. They always are ready to use them, and that's about as far as they go. They're not really interested in getting to know the business and grow with it and make money out of this. That's really not their aim. They're just users. Then we have riffers. Now, riffers are people who are very, very happy users, and they are willing to recommend other people to come on board and also use the products. They've used them before. They love what the products are doing. Then we've got these two, the users and riffers actually make your consumer network, which is the majority of people who really won't go anywhere doing sales. Then we've got retailers, and in this case, these are, in my opinion, the backbone of your business. Retailers are the ones that will bring you the mullah. They will bring you the money because they're the ones who go out there and bring in the most sales. There are very few retailers in your business, but they bring the greatest volume in your business. So remember, in terms of volume, in terms of sales, in terms of BVs and PVs, they will mostly come from retailers. And then we've got the network builders, who are the creme de la creme of the business. Network builders are retailers, network builders are referrers, and network builders are users as well. And remember that these two, the retailers and the network builders, basically form the operator network. Remember, network builders are the people that come in planning to go the long haul with this business, planning to build an asset out of this business. Now, in getting your first order, you have to realize there are basically 2 types of distributors. We've got part-timers and we've got full-timers. Now, by definition, who is a part-timer? It is anyone who already has another source of income and is planning on supplementing that income through TNs for, number 1, more money in the short term, or number 2, build an asset of long-term passive income. And the methodology usually is that they may use sales sometimes, although they may not really be pressed to do so. So the primary focus will be on network building as a medium-term plan. And they may perhaps also want the sales because they are looking for extra income. Now, in this particular case, what kind of products do we recommend for them? Well, we ask them to replace all branded items with TN's products. So that means soaps in the homes, toothpaste, pads, tea, and coffee get replaced by TN's products. And then they also look at healthcare, specifically cleansing, replenishing, strengthening, and balancing or detoxing. And then beauty and equipment is also a good route for them to go, especially if they're not really tied up with money, and sales become in as the extra money generator. Now, on the other hand, we've got full-timers. By definition, who are they? Full-timers are anyone who comes into TNs and makes this their primary source of income, as they have no other income whatsoever. And the methodology for them is that they're going to create an income to meet all living expenses through sales, and sales will be the primary source of that income. So they're going to be doing a lot of selling because that's how they want to basically make it. Remember, these guys haven't got anything else they're doing, so the sales will have to pay for their school fees, will have to pay for their home rentals, they'll have to take care of food at home, and basically help him run up and down running his sales. So you can imagine. So incorporating network building into activities will come in a little later, but the idea is that they have to do that from day one for medium to long-term results, as a result, to make them look, and sound more professional. And so really, the whole idea again is replace products, as always, healthcare, beauty, and equipment. But remember, full-timers don't have a lot of cash to play around with, so for them, the driving force will be sales. So they need to invest in stock to the value of $200, which basically becomes their activation. And I can tell you as a learner that this is the best route to go, because most sales are easily made if you have stock in your hands. So make sales your chief source of income to pay for all your living expenses. Now, sales. I need to make a statement about sales, which is very, very important. Listen to this. Remember that income generation is a great motivation. So sales create an opportunity for regular and predictable income for anybody who comes in. So some people might say, nah, I don't need to sell much. Fine, that may be true, but truly speaking, money has always been the great motivator. So if you don't have money early enough in the life of a new distributor, they get discouraged very, very quickly. So ensure that you find a way to get them to discover or find or lock into a product within TNs. TNs has a very, very wide range of products, so let them find a product that is going to be ideal for them, a product that's going to help them to make sales, and that is of course in their niche. And one of the great ideas I always give for you to quickly get sales going is to make a list of 20 seriously financially rich people that you are aware of that are very financially okay, and then learn how to sell and go and sell to these 20 new people. Forget about that. You've got a name list for the new people to join, but just find 20 people, make a list, tell them you want to come show them something to do with health, and tell them that this is part of your new business, and you just want them to see if they can support you. You remember, these people, and then go out there and make sales. Believe me, this is going to make a huge difference, and you might clock your $200 activation very, very quickly. Right on. So let's take another break, and then we will continue with the next part, which is obviously looking at the next section of this training. Right on. Now we get on to the scheduling of the new distributor orientation session, which is a very, very important session that you must schedule with your new people. And to do that, you must have a diary. So get yourself and get your new people to have an A5 or larger page per day type diary. Why? I'll tell you why. You see, all rich and important people use diaries. Why? Because they have learned to budget and schedule their time like it's money. Now, a lot of poor people have not done that. They treat time as if it's just any other thing, and they can go about doing their own thing at their own time, and they can be very luxurious about it. But I can tell you that if you want to be successful, if you want to be great, you need to learn to use a diary. It's very, very important. So remember this, time is like money. It can be invested or wasted. So get yourself a current diary and begin to use it, preferably A5 or larger. Don't bring in those small little tiny type of diaries which can't even work to fit in 5 or 6 appointments in there. But get yourself one of those A5 or larger. Now also get yourself an A4 hardcover exercise book, because that's what you're going to be using for your name list. Work up to 300 names. Do not prejudge. Do not choose or say, I won't put this one because they're poor. I won't put this one because I don't think they have money. I won't put this one because I think it's too rich. But just have a strategy for everybody. Put them all down on your paper, and we will teach you exactly how to do that in the following lessons that will come along. Now, do not contact anyone until you're familiar with the 4 rules of inviting. This is the second time I am saying this to you, so obviously that shows you how important it is to ensure you follow the system There are many ways of inviting wrongly, and there's one correct way. And what you want to do is learn the correct way, because then from day one, your results are much better. You're going to have greater results. More people are going to attend your meetings, and that's going to encourage you and motivate you. Now, I'm going to show you a video by my trainer and mentor, Eric Worre, that is really going to hit the nail home and help you to see how powerful exactly this is. And it's called But I Don't Know Anyone. And a lot of people, will always make that excuse and say, but I don't know anybody, so I don't think this is going to work for me. But I want to show you that you actually do know quite a number of people, way more than you can imagine. So watch this video, and then you get back to the lesson. Okay, so we get on to reviewing the tools, and as you are familiar and aware, we did look at these before, but we're going to go through them again, and just to help you remember how important they are. So first, we've got the DVD, as well as the booklet. There's the How to Make $4,000 a Month Working From Home and the Ultimate Dream Lifestyle DVD, which is very good as an intro tool for helping you get somebody interested or to take a look at your opportunity. Remember that, to take a look at the opportunity. And then there's the OPP, which gives a professional view of the business, and of course the DVD, which is the New TNs Videos 2013, which contains a lot of material to help people lock in. Now, these are really powerful tools. The OPP is one of the most powerful tools, if not the most powerful tool we have in our business. And what I'm gonna do is, when we get to the actual orientation tomorrow in the next set of lessons, you're gonna learn exactly how the presentation plays a pivotal role in helping you grow your business. So this brings us to the end of this session and to the end of today's lesson. When you check through your papers, you have a couple of assignments which will be given to you on the page and will be explained in the webinar before this. So your assignments really are just to make sure you get all the training going. Have a great time, and we'll catch up again.